How you doing, brothers and sisters? It's funny, just some more thoughts. I'm constantly thinking about words and breaking words down, uh, and some more interesting things I found. For other people who haven't seen these videos before, what I show is I feel like is the key to everything that's happening here. Everything is basically controlled by words, and we're only shown usually one meaning of a word, and that's intentional. That was one of the many reasons they took over public schools. It's part of the Communist Manifesto, having public schools. That way they can control the curriculum, like people see now with Common Core. And an interesting thing about Common Core, and this anyone can look this up for themselves. It's based off of uh, World Core Curriculum. The man who made that was Robert Mueller. He, of course, worked for the United Nations, and he himself said that he came up with Common Core. It was based off the writings of Alice Bailey. Well, when you look into Alice Bailey, she's one of the most infamous theosophists, her and Helena Blavatsky, and they openly talk about the Luciferian doctrine, but what she says, all her books were channeled to her by the Tibetan, this ascended master. And just think about that, the ascended, where did the ascended master ascend from? Ascend is going up. So to me, I think, again, they're telling the truth with words right there. But all her books were channeled to her. So no matter what you believe, she's basically saying spirits gave her information for her books. And this is what Robert Mueller got his World Core curriculum from, and that's where Common Core comes from, based off spirits. But some of the other stuff, quick review of some of the words. I know I do this all the time. I'm sorry, if it gets repetitive for people. But for anyone new, God basically woke me up from one single prayer, delivered 2 King James Bibles and a large dictionary on my doorstep, and I just started looking up common words, regular, everyday words that I thought I knew the meaning of. Tree, like in the Garden of Eden, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Tree is a figure that branches from a single genealogical root. That means, one directly from God, one that didn't have a grandfather. Angel is a financial backer of a political campaign or a dramatic production, and that's what we're controlled by is politics, entertainment. That's what's shaping people's minds and beliefs. And you can go to the freedictionary.com online and read all the definitions. That's the key, reading all of them. What else? There was, well, here's another one I said early on in my videos, but I'll repeat. The zombie. We all know a zombie's like a reanimated corpse, but it also means a snake god, worshipping of a snake. It's a snake god. And then wormwood, that's talked about in the Bible. When you break those two down, like wormwood is referring to the absinthe or Artemisia, and Artemis is the Antichrist's sister, Apollo's sister, Artemis and Apollo. Also, her name is Diana. But when you break down worm, definitions for a worm is a serpent, a dragon. I give more in another video. But then wood, the archaic, the old meaning was insane. So, basically wormwood, is meaning madness or insanity of the dragon, from the dragon. Dragon insanity, serpent insanity. When that spirit finally does take over. But some other things I found that I wanted to get into, and again, this ties into common law. And one other thing I was going to try to branch into was, for the people dealing with the flat earth right now, this common law would also be very useful if someone wanted to explore the ice wall or the points where they say you can't go, because they're enforcing some supposed authority over legal persons, over legal names, So I'd be more than willing to go if people were going to set up a trip and All you'd have to do is the captain of the ship sign the boat over to me, just a simple contract between you and I. I would let you keep the only copy for, $1 or whatever, common law contract. And, we go out, and if we're stopped by anyone, I would do the talking, and just tell them, because these people are following orders. They believe they have authority. So this whole fake mirror world that's laid on top of the real world is all these rules, statute, code, but they have no real enforcement. Just people think they have the authority because they think they have protection. And in their legal society, their legal system with legal names, they are protected, but they're not protected under common law. They're not protected under the law of man. So, basically, you'd be saying to whoever was stopping you, that you better check with your legal department because I'm going to file a claim against you. I'm going to personally sue you, and even if you kill me, anyone in my family can carry out this claim. There's no statute of limitations. That's their world, you know. So your pension, anyone involved when harming, I a man, or preventing me from going to point A to B, because that they use all these keywords. Property is the word, and property is the securing property is the only true function the government is supposed to have. That's number one. So, I'm not sailing in a ship or a boat or whatever other term they want to give it. I'm taking my property from point A to point B. So, like I said, if you listen to Carl Lentz, Karl Lentz, he's the master of the common law stuff, and this stuff does work. I've used it already. Believe me, no one's ever going to respond to you signing a name, because they're going to be so confused, and it makes so much common sense, but it's the opposite of what they're taught. As soon as they start checking with their legal department and stuff, they're going to find out they are personally liable. As an officer or as whatever title they have, they're protected. But then you go to common law, and the man that sometimes acts as an officer is not. He can still be held liable for his actions. And I compare, like, the Nuremberg trials. All those German soldiers were just following orders, but they were still found guilty because they still knew right from wrong. They still knew they wouldn't do what they did to those people. They wouldn't do that to their own children, their own kids, their own property, really. And even your children are your property. Children's a legalese word. You require the immediate restoration of your property. And they have to give it back, and they will be held accountable for burglar or for stealing your property. But some other interesting things I was thinking about with the flat Earth, and if this is if that ice wall's there and it's really keeping us in here, like a prison or a pen. Well, that made me think of the word, pen. And we're bound, like I was talking about in the last video. Jesus was hung on a cross, and obviously the cross is wood, and he was bound by it. And just like all these people making these oaths, and God tells you never to swear an oath, just make your yeas yeas and your nays nays, because we don't know what these words mean, and these things do hold up. So you are bound by it. But like Jesus was bound by the tree, he gave himself as a willing sacrifice, for our sin, to pay our debt. That's what we're bound by today: paper and pen. And what's a pen? When you look up the word pen, it'll have lots of definitions, but it'll say confinement, prison, a feather or plume, and that reminded me of the plume serpent, like a quill pen, the plume serpent, Quetzalcoatl, a wing, animal enclosure, structure made of pointed stakes. Well, that's what, if you look up the word cross, one of the definitions says stake, a tree, and I think that has to do with the whole vampire not stuff, where they can be killed by a wooden stake, and why the cross. And silver or garlic, all blood purifiers, because that's what Jesus did. He purified our blood with his blood. And it also came from the word penates, Roman household gods, sanctuary of a temple. I gave Vesta as an example, and that was Etymoline. That's a good website. pencil, uh, painter's brush, hair, pencil, uh, and it reminded me like terms of art. Everything's terms of art. That's why you can't understand these legal statutes or codes. Something written in code is meant for you not to understand, and only members are meant to understand. Um, because it's a term of art, like a painting. If I paint a painting, 10 people can give their opinion of the painting, but only I, the creator of it, truly know. Just like the Bible. I mean, we can read it, and God, reveals information more and more to people that are asking for it, but only He truly knows what it all means, perfectly, because He's the author, He's the creator. And just like that legal name, you're not the author of it. You're not the creator of that legal name, But if you're making a claim, that's you, and that's another key word. Just the word "you" is a joinder word, is a word that makes you shorty, because we speak incorrectly today. You is a plural word. It's always plural. It can never be used singular, even though we do that. But that's why, the King James is one of the reasons I prefer it too, because it is getting all those parts right. It is letting you know if it's singular or plural, or what exactly is being talked about. And I did another video how the serpent, he was the first recorded incident of the you game was with Eve, when he said, "Ye shall be as gods." Well, he was talking to just Eve. So why did he say you? I mean, he was already creating joinder to whatever happened to Adam and Eve, whatever they became, whatever they were translated into this world. What else? Oh, some pretty cool stuff I found. Well, even going back real quick to the pen, you figure what's in pencils, the lead. We use that for bullets, because pencils have killed way more. Pencils and pens and ink have killed way more people than bullets have. And also with when they use the symbol of the octopus or the squid or Hydra, and well, what do they do to their enemy to confuse them, confound them? They eject ink out. And then when you start looking at the ingredients of ink and paper, you find some weird things like different kind of snake venom and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's a ritual. Even when you're writing something, you're spelling out something. You're manifesting. And like I said in that last video, was like that movie The Sphere with Samuel Jackson and Dustin Hoffman. They had that sphere, and whatever they thought of or dreamt of was manifested, and that was kind of representing this world. That's the power of this world. Even Jesus confirmed that. If you believed, if you had the faith of a mustard seed, you could move the mountains, and said you will do everything He did and more. It's because we don't believe enough, And that's what this whole world is, this world of make-believe. But here's some other funny things. I'm not positive on these. I just thought it was more than a coincidence. If we're really kept in this pen here by this ice wall, and you think of these names like police, officer, justice, well, police, pole ice, officer, off ice-er, justice, just ice. So, is that exactly what it means? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that those were the words given. Like, police also pertains to policy enforcement officers, which they become instead of peace officers. But really, no, they have no authority. We just believe they have authority. And if you're using the legal name, they do have that authority. And people believe it. They put on the costume, they put on their shiny badge, and people believe they have some authority. But again, the way they were created in this land, I mean, they carry their gun on the side. Well, because everyone's supposed to. Like, I'm in Pennsylvania, it's an open carry state here. You're supposed to carry your gun out in the open. But they make everyone think you need a permit to carry your gun. Well, that's a concealed carry permit. That was to, not that you needed permission for that either, but most people think it's just a permit to carry it. Most of the police don't even know that we're an open carry state here. So, if someone sees someone carrying a gun out in the open, they'll probably call and get all freaked out. But yet, if the police show up and they're all carrying out in the open, instantly they're all, perfect because they have the costume on. And that's how people are, thinking with science. They have those degrees, those letters, or, the title, the fictitious title because they have a degree. Well, what? Because they memorized things they were told to memorize. Well, who got the first the PhD? Who got the first college degree? They set up this curriculum like they did with Common Core, and then they say, "Oh, you're great. You get the pat on the head, the pat on the back, the attaboy." But who got the first one? Because whoever gave it to them, they didn't have one then. They weren't qualified to give these things out. So it's just smoke and mirrors. Just like with the doctors. That's another great hoax is with these doctors. And there's lots of great doctors. They know how to do certain things, how to fit, but you got to remember the hospitals, the hospitalers were tied in with the Masons, and they convinced everyone that you needed to go there to have a baby, to deliver a baby, when people use midwives for a long time, because you go there, they instantly, from the beginning, start making us bound by things. The birth certificates are all given out there. That legal person is created. What do? They prick the heel, and I honestly believe something's done with that blood. I know it's put in a database. They keep that, a DNA record, but I think something more is done with that blood to get some kind of spiritual authority. They take your blood right from there, and you don't really get woken up to the truth until you're born again. You're spiritually born again, and something happens to you. I think there's a physical transformation that happens as well after time. That something happens to your blood, that you literally are born again. Also with the circumcision, that what that was initially for was making people bound by the law. So when you're circumcised, that was symbolic of being bound by the law, and that's what Satan really wants. He wants everyone to be judged under the law. And just like if you've ever heard some of the things some of these rabbinical these rabbis come up with their rabbinical law, it's like all clever ways. Like if you're not supposed to work on Saturday on the Sabbath, then if you create a device that you turn on Friday and it does it, then technically you're not working. Well, that's our whole legal system. It's all just word games and technicalities, and really, I mean, the spirit of the law is what God talks about. Is you're still doing wrong. You know what I mean? You're still doing, whether you pay some man to kill someone, you're still a murderer. You already did it in your heart. You already set it up. You're not, your hands aren't clean. And that's what these people think. Their hands are clean because they're getting other people to do it. And everything they're setting up, that's what they're going to be bound by. And rabbi literally means a Jewish doctor of religious law. Master, great one, chief, teacher, and the Bible specifically says to call no man rabbi or father. So we got a problem with the Catholic titles and the supposed Jewish titles. These Jews who are not Jews, they're the synagogue of Satan. What other things? Oh, and with the hospitals also, they're taught, literally look up the word doctor, and it's like it literally describes how if you doctored something up, you know what I mean? Like if you duct tape something, or you're just rigging it to function. Well, that's what this hospital, this system teaches them, how to just treat the symptoms and not, fix what's actually wrong, fix the deficiency, or take something away that is, you're not supposed to be eating. It's all health, it's all nutritional deficiencies usually. There's plenty of cases of these other people who have studied this, and even regular doctors who've gotten into the homeopathy and the natural remedies and stuff, and they have great more success. Look at cancer. Cancer, they say 2% of people being treated, with the chemo and radiation, which are cancer causers, survive. And then it says 27% who do nothing, who just go on about their life, survive. So they're actually killing off 25%. And it's become such a big corporation, a big business, the love of money again. And that's what everything is, a corporation. And when you look up when the serpent is cursed to go on his belly, the word belly literally means a corporation when you look up in the definitions. So, and even Cain, part of his punishment going to the land of Nod, but also was that the ground would not yield to him anymore, that he couldn't produce. So if you can't produce and create things and do things for yourself. You employ people. What's a ploy? A trick. Uh, you're deceiving someone. You're the employer, and they're in the employee. Um, all these words just tell. Everything is right out in the open. Babylon, gate of the gods, um, Baal. Different movies. Or like the Anthony Hopkins movies. The right, where Baal was controlling him. When you look up Baal, it says owner, master, lord. It literally means he took possession of, or he married. It says Hannibal, false god. So again, Hannibal Lecter, played by Anthony Hopkins. Again, Baal is in the title. Um, he took possession of, he married. So in the movies, you'll see, and in real life, you'll see all these people wearing their little secret society rings on their right hand, usually on their ring finger, because they are married. It's a marriage. It's a covenant. It's a contract. It's a they've gone into these contracts and sworn oaths that they're liable for. And an oath, if you look up the word oath, is a solemn promise to God that if broken comes back as a curse. So that's another reason why God warned us from swearing any oaths, because it is set up. There is a spiritual, penalties for violating these oaths. What else? Europe, the word Europe, as a geographic name first recorded in the Homeric hymn to Apollo. Again, Apollo, that's the Antichrist, the son of Zeus. Apollyon in the Bible, Abaddon. Says this was 522 BC or earlier. Wide eye, a word also means literally to go down or to set, referring to the sun. More sun worship, Apollo, the sun god. Purple, like purple being the royal colors. It was made from shellfish by the people of Tyre. They made the dye. And I started thinking of stuff like atmosphere, since now with the flat earth being revealed and we don't really know what's up in the sky, I start thinking that outer space is outer darkness, and that these planets that are up there are these wandering stars that that's what they're referred to in the Bible as the planets. The word planet is only used once in the King James, and it's saying it's a wandering star. And what did it mean? Dominant atmosphere is atmos, vapor, or stream, and we know sphere doesn't just mean a ball. A sphere means a circle, a realm, a dominion. It's a dimension. So the prince of the power of the air, there's other dimensions, and I believe they're in the other light spectrums, because you can see videos of the people with the night vision. I've done it myself, the night vision goggles, where you're looking up in the sky and you see way more lights up there, stars, whatever they are. Stars are constantly called angels in the Bible, and then you see things moving around that have definitely been moved with intelligence, and they're not birds. You can tell when there's birds or bugs or anything else. These things are up there, they're going, they're stopping, they're turning, and sometimes they completely just disappear from infrared as well. You can't already see them with your naked eye, but then they disappear from infrared. So they're going into what? Yet another spectrum. And then you see a lot of the superheroes, which are the modern day Nephilim or giants. That word giant doesn't just mean a tall creature, a tall being, or a large creature. Giants is anything, an industry, and intelligence, and sorcery, and that's what it literally means. It's not just talking about. So giant was the accurate word. Don't let people tell you that the Bible isn't a correct translation, or they mistranslated it, or no, they didn't. Whatever someone's telling you, just look up the word in your language, in English, in the dictionary, and believe me, you'll get more insight of all the different meanings. And God does this. He uses multiple meanings. And you got to remember, he was writing for thousands of years of people, as the speech changed, as a language changed, and since he's outside of time, he can do that. So he's writing things for all these different generations to understand and to get the information they needed at that particular time. Like everyone thinks a miracle is just when Jesus turned the water into wine or walked on the water, but a lot of times the miracle's in the timing. Like, is it a miraculous thing in itself that, after I prayed and asked God for the truth, I started finding all this information out, and that literally two King James Bibles and a dictionary got, delivered to my doorstep, and I started uncovering all this stuff with the words. That in itself is not a miracle. It's the timing of all those events. You know what I mean? Like, he had all those things happen at the exact moment they were intended to happen by his intention. And what else do we find here? I don't know if that's it or not. There's always so much more I want to get into, but and it's just with the flat Earth again. It's just funny, these movies coming out. Well, The Signal had already come out, and the one line in there is talking about the will of man combined with alien technology, and that's what they use to break through the glass, the dome, or the firmament. And then what's he find out there? He sees outer darkness. That's what he broke through to. And the guy's name was Nomad that was initially writing to him. And nomad again means a wanderer, rove, roaming, land allotted to divide, distribute. And again, aliens. That alien is a correct word. These fallen angels are aliens to this world. They're not of here. They are foreigners. But also, alien means alien. Literally, that's how it's spelled, and that's literally what it means. They're placing a lien on us. They're tricking us into becoming surety for their creations. So we're becoming bond servants. And again, like the bond market and the stock market, that's what it's trading on, is us being bond servants. And we've done it to ourselves, our lack of knowledge. Signal, the word signal, what's that mean? Or I looked up the word daemon, because that was the guy's name. It was nomad backwards, and it says overboard, side of a ship. I mean, it's all planned out, because everything in here is like the Matrix. And Matrix literally means a womb. That everything is designed with all this, like down to characters' names and their real names in real life. And no people could do this much planning. Even when I was first finding out about all the conspiracy stuff, I'm like, well, how can men make plans for hundreds of years that, well before and after their death, these generational things? And that's when it's these spirits behind it. They're the ones that are planning and just using people. They're using them to fulfill what they want, their will. What else? What I looked up when I was looking up zombie from the beginning, voodoo, and vu is you. So you do. Again, that's all about belief. Like I keep saying, like everything in this world is a belief. Like in that skeleton key, like the spells and things didn't work on the woman until she believed in it. And voodoo literally means snake worship, or to be afraid or harmful. And some of the other, common law versus the legalese words, like an injury, personal injury lawyer. Well, injury is to like a tangible object. It's to a what, not a who. Harm is done to a man. Someone's done wrong, that applies to man. Where all these statutes and codes use all these other words, or even like when the lawyer or whoever's speaking in there, well, they can say whatever they want. It doesn't even have to be true, because they've never sworn under oath that they're speaking the truth. And even when they put affidavits and stuff like that, and they certify, well, that's what a notary does. They're just certifying that some document was there that day. They're not swearing that everything on it's true. That's verify. That's why you make a verified claim versus a certified complaint. And in common law, a lawyer has no standing. Like, lawyers were literally created to represent something to, a corporation. They needed someone to to speak for them, to utter something for them, but they'll never swear to it, and that's another way you can get them right there is, you know, just require that the attorney, the man speaking over there, be sworn under oath or affirmation. And if the judge is, or they're arguing about, say, well, you can ask a simple question: is it not true that only sworn testimony can be brought up under appellate review? Well, then, they kind of have to then, and he's not going to swear to anything because he's sitting over there lying. What's an attorney again? That word attorney in their own books say, an officer of the court whose first obligation is to the court, his second obligation is to the public, and his third obligation is not to the client. They have no obligation to help you. I think that's it. It was just funny. The main thing, not the main thing, but one of the things I really wanted to put out there was when I was thinking of this place as like a pen or, a prison planet, prison plane, was that, those words again, the pole ice, the police, pole ice, off icer, officer, and, what was the other one? Just ice, justice. I just thought it was interesting that those are the words used. And again, I keep finding more and more real quick, sapphire, because I see a lot of them wear their sapphire rings, these dark blue rings they wear. That's literally sacred to Saturn. Dark blue stone, next in hardness to diamond. We used to be referred to as lapis lazuli. Emerald to shine, lightning. So even the jewels, I'm sure if you look them all up that Satan was made up and start looking up the meanings or where the words came from, there's something that'll apply to him. And that's literally what they've done here, is place this Oz land, this fictitious world on top of the real one, and it's all done by belief. All their smoke and mirrors, it's like one big movie set, like Shakespeare would say, the whole world is a stage and we are, merely actors upon it. Well, that's what a legal person is. A person is the mask an actor wears on stage, and the flat earth and the way it's set up looks like an older amphitheater. We're on center stage being watched right now, and that's what it was, the Watchers. And again, when I was looking that up, in the last video related to the gyroscope, gyro, what was gyro meant, a circle, and the scope was meant like a watcher. They were the circle watchers, and that's what God says. He sits upon the circle of the earth. Well, not only does that apply to the shape of the flat earth, the circle that he inscribed into the four corners square object, the footstool with pillars, but also the circle again means realm, dominion, arena, dimension. Like this game or this contest is being played out in this arena, and who knows what else is going on elsewhere. I mean, you figure God's always existed, so I'm sure he was always creating. And it just, it seems like when it says we were made in his image, and image literally means a clone, but we were made in his image. Well, all these other angelic beings seem a lot of them seem more like animals. So this whole world could just be, with all the different animals, could just be a small model representing all the other beings. So like these other angels that have different natures, or these beasts around the throne, it just kind of reminds me of like the island of Dr. Moreau. And where it was, the father, they called him Father, and it was all these hybrids there. And Moreau, I haven't looked that up, or maybe I did, but more like the Moreau, I think the beginning relates to death, like mortuary or morte, which is death. And they're controlled by this device he wears, and they pull out whatever that controls them, and then they end up killing him. I don't know if the father there is referring to Satan making these hybrids, or it also represents how they feel about God. You know, I don't know. It could mean both. I guess that's it for now, guys. Yeah, I think that's all. Have a great day. God bless you all, and keep looking up these words, you know, and see what you find. You know, let me know what you find on different meanings. Just look up and read all the definitions. I'm telling you, just not just the ones I've given here, but there's so many more. Like I can't describe it until you see it. Like you see the different levels of information it's giving you. Like for one of the first big ones for me was order out of chaos. So it's written on their books, the Freemasons. Order is one of the 9 sex or choirs of angels, and chaos means the abyss. So order out of chaos literally means the choir or sect of angel out of the abyss, and that's what they want to do. That's their plan with CERN, CERN with an E, the circle made by with a witch's wand to bring forth demons, to summon demons. That's what they're trying to do. That's always been the goal, is to free these from the abyss, from when the pit opens up. And I believe that CERN, that 27-kilometer, porthole they're trying to create, and at some point, the angel comes down with a key, the frequency, vibration, Satan, the devil with his pitchfork. Well, it's not a instrument for baling hay alone. A pitchfork is a tuning fork for frequency, sound, vibration. So that's what is going to happen. Hell is going to be unleashed on earth, and all these people who thought they were protected, most of them are going to be destroyed as well. And I don't know. I mean, I guess they're just spiritually blind. They're possessed. They've made these covenants, but they're designing their own destruction, and then whatever they're setting up is how they're going to be bound for eternity. God bless you all. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.